Okay, welcome back to the 1090 podcast. I'm here with Josh Legg. Do you like to go by Joshua or Jay or Josh? What do you prefer?
Joshua's fine. I like
Joshua.
Joshua. Everybody calls me Joshua except for my wife. She called me Josh and all that stuff. So growing up, it was Josh with my family. But when the professional setting and just what I like to use my given name, Joshua.
It's professional.
It is. It is.
Joshua.
Or you can call me Marvel Madness.
Just the opposite, or double M. Marvel Madness.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, let's get into it right now. From the literally head to toe, you are covered in Marvel. You have a hat. You have the Wolverine. Are those Wolverine shoes?
These are Wolverine shoes. Yeah, they're Nike shoes.
And you have a Wolverine shirt.
I do.
So I think it's safe if I were to ask you your favorite superhero. I'm guessing you'd say
Superman. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. Why?
It's definitely Wolverine.
Why Marvel instead of DC?
Or do you that's a great question, and it stems back from my childhood and watching X-Men cartoons.
Best cartoon ever.
X-Men 92, 93. That's where it was at. So
yeah, I feel like DC. I like the Marvel superheroes because they're not. Superman is he's too powerful, man.
Yeah,
he's too much. He can do everything. And I like the Spider-Mans and like the Wolverines that kind of take a punch and a beating and kind of have to figure this out in order to survive this thing. I always kind of enjoyed that more than just watching the Superman do everything. Why Wolverine, though? Why is he your favorite?
So, like I said, childhood, X-Men 97, cartoon now that I'm an adult, the new cartoon that just came out from Disney. The remake, it's not a remake. It's actually just a whole take on it. It's new. It just starts off when Professor X dies, all the way to like when the very last episode when Professor X dies back in the 90s. They started off from that.
Okay.
So basically, it's like it never stopped, right?
Yeah.
But Wolverine, when I saw him, I was like, that's my guy, you know. I started collecting Marvel trading cards in 1990. So they had what's called Marvel Universe 1990 Impel. And that very first branded set, because of Impel, that brought in all different Marvel characters, right? And so you'd have X-Men characters, you'd have, Avengers characters, all in the mix of that. Well, they didn't really push DC cards probably until not until a couple of more years, it seems like. There are some old school Batman cards, 1966 Donruss.
Yeah, Batman's one of the OG ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there are some old school Batmans, and I think that's not really what I liked when I was a kid. Batman was cool, but all I knew of Batman when I was a kid was Michael Keaton, you know? And he was a cool Batman in the movie, you know, type of setting. But I related X-Men to my childhood and the cartoon and all that stuff. I didn't really get into any Batman stuff because Fox Kids Network, for some reason, had the Marvel stuff that they always showed. So kind of what started me into that realm.
Wolverine versus Spider-Man, who wins?
Wolverine all day long.
Wolverine versus Iron Man.
Wolverine.
Wolverine versus Hulk.
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Okay, Wolverine versus Magneto.
Wolverine.
No, whoa! How do you do that one? How are you pulling that off?
Bone Claws will come back, and he's good.
So after you strip off all the metal, he'll just go to the
Bone Claws come back. He's still good
because he can still regenerate after the metal.
Now, are you familiar with the comic where Hulk and him go at it, and Hulk actually eats Wolverine?
I'm not familiar with this.
And then he tears apart. He regenerates inside of Hulk's stomach and tears apart Hulk and comes out of Hulk. Did you know that?
That's badass. Wolverine or Deadpool?
That's a great combo. You know, like with that, I have love towards both of them that way. But Deadpool will always win because he can't kill himself. Logan, on the other hand, has poison from the adamantium, so he will die at some point because it's always poisoning him. That adamantium.
I thought Wolverine was going to live forever, type of thing.
You know, his there's parts of Wolverine that are still going. Yes, for sure. But
kind of like the Iron Giant.
Yeah. He did die in Logan, at least the 616 Logan.
You're like, do you think? What percentage of people know more about Wolverine than you on planet Earth? Like,
I mean,
0.00.
There's a couple things I know about Wolverine. Yeah.
What did you think of the Wolverine Deadpool movie?
That was epic. Now that was the best movie so far in any of the modern, movies. When I say modern, I say, okay, who started, just in general, who started the Marvel franchise? Do you know? Well,
I thought it was Stan Lee, or no?
Well, I mean the movies.
Oh, sorry,
movies,
yeah.
Just movies,
I don't
not
know.
comics.
Sorry,
movies,
I don't
know. Movies. The very first Marvel movie was Blade.
Okay, wow.
That's the very first Marvel movie. That was in
really good.
That was in 1997, and then we had Iron Man in 2001. And then what did we have with after? Actually, Iron Man was maybe 98. It was 97, and then it was Blade. Didn't know people didn't know it started with Blade, but it did. But then really it took off with Iron Man, right? We saw Iron Man, we're like, whoa, this is sweet, right? And the X-Men franchise wanted a little piece of that, Sony, and they came in and they're like, well, no, actually, X-Men's the bomb here. This is where we need to go, Yeah. So ever since that first X-Men movie and Hugh Jackman played it, it's always followed me. I told everybody, Hugh Jackman will always be Wolverine. And what happened? 20 years later, he's still making the Wolverine movie. So
yeah.
So, but Deadpool Wolverine, just to answer your question, sorry, got a lot of commentary behind me. So Ryan Reynolds and the whole combo. I've always been a fan of Ryan Reynolds, and with Hugh Jackman, just the movie in general. That's how the comic characters would banter back and forth. They did the most amazing job ever doing that movie, and it had to have cuss words, so it had to be rated R. It had to have that because of how Deadpool is, right? If you've ever seen any of the earlier Deadpool movies with Ryan Reynolds, when you found out that they were actually going to make a Deadpool 3, and then they're actually not going to say that, they're going to call it a Wolverine 11, but then they're like, no, we'll just call it Wolverine Deadpool. So that's what happened.
Yeah, you know too much almost. Like what is this going on? Well, his bone claws will come back. Okay. Really learning a lot. If you could combine any two superheroes together, what would you do?
Any two superheroes. Well, if I was able to create Wolverine to be a god, it would be Mr. Manhattan. If you know who Mr. Manhattan is.
Yeah, the Watchman.
Yeah, the Watchman. So the Watchman is also, it was one of the first comic novels I ever read. And when I saw the movie, I was disappointed.
Really?
Because the novel was so good. When I saw the movie, it's like, you're leaving this out. You're leaving that out. Like, I was so mad. So I ultimately just said, you know what? When you go to a comic-centered movie, you have to realize that this is different. This is going to give a different take on it. It's not going to be comic the same exact what comic is, right? So you got to go into it as like a comic lover, but also be like, okay, I'm keeping my mind open to the possibilities of what they're stating this in the movie, right? In the MCU. So,
any relation to Wolverine or superheroes to grief at all? Is any correlation there at all between the two for you?
Wolverine's been through a lot. there's been a lot of death. He's over 200 years old, so when you're looking at someone that's been through that much and had that much loss, um, you know, uh, you only can relate if you have your own losses, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's if you're asking me in general, back to I was a 90s kid collecting, and then at 16 I stopped, and then I started dating girls. Never been back into comics or anything like that. I did keep my childhood collection with some comics though.
Was girls, man.
And oh yeah.
They'll ruin it for you.
I brought it all the way from when I was single, all the way to when I got engaged, to when I got married, to when I had kids. And my wife at one point, I think this was back in like 2015-ish, she said, when are we going to throw this stuff away? It's not ever going to be worth anything. And I'm like, you're wrong. I'm going to keep it. And it's going to stay the same. It's going to be in the bins, in the garage, not outside in the shed. I was always temperature control with all my cards and all that stuff. And then at the end of the day, when COVID happened and everybody was bringing out their collections and all that stuff, I was like, my jaw just dropped, right? Because I held some of these cards. I owned some of these cards that were selling for thousands of dollars graded. And I didn't know what grading meant. But it's basically just taking a raw card and having a company grade it and tell what it's worth. And that's really what it comes down to. But in general, back to what you were asking, with the grief and all that stuff, it kind of stems from my childhood. I collected with my brother, my younger brother. And he just recently, just in my adulthood, we would always come together and all that stuff with comics and movies. Hey, did you see that new trailer coming out? That looks so cool. The Hulk and all that stuff.
Bonded, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And he would always call me Wolverine and all that stuff. And sometimes he said I look like Tony Stark if I did a goatee, because I kind of did a little bit. But no, he was everything as a brother could be when growing up. And I have an older brother and a older sister, but he and I had a unique relationship. We were just always there. We'd have some of the same friends and all that stuff. So it was great. But so yeah, that was my brother. But he passed away. So,
and he took his own life.
Yeah. So I don't know how much you want to know about this, but in general, he took his life, but it wasn't him. When I say it wasn't him, he had a sickness. So yeah, he had clinical bipolar and semi multi-personality, but mainly the bipolar is what put him into manic stages. So manic stages, whether it was a manic stage where he had extreme highs or manic stages that he had the extreme lows. So in essence, he actually, the very first time that something happened, that because he didn't live with bipolar his whole life. And it's usually a life event that can sometimes bring it out. Well, what happened was he got married, engaged. He got engaged first. And when he got engaged, something happened for him where his life changed a bit. That this one time I was just randomly, I can't remember where I was at, but I know where he was. He went to the local mountain where you would go up to go skiing. And he went up to the local mountain and just started hiking. And we didn't know where he was at or anything like that. He called and said, "Hey, I'm up on the mountain." I'm like, "Jake, you need to come home. We've been looking for you. We don't know where you're at. What are you doing?" And he's all like, "I'm hunting a bear." "You're hunting a bear? You have your gun with you?" He's like, No, I have a knife." I'm like, "You have a knife? What's going on here?" And come to find out, he in his mind needed to go get a bear up in the mountains.
And he was going to do it with a knife.
A knife, just a knife. One of the Boy Scout knives. Big size Boy Scout knife, but
I didn't know it was a.
with the compass on the bottom and all that stuff.
Knife. Okay, yeah.
So it was a one of those little Rambo knives. But that's pretty much the very first start of it, and he probably had 30 to 50 different episodes. Since then, went through 2 marriages, a kid that he left behind. She actually is like turning 14. So I think it's been, what is it now, man? He passed away in 2019, June 2019. And so it's been 7 or 8 years now. 8 years? No, 7.
Isn't it June?
7
okay,
years.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's June. It's June now, right? It's June. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he passed away June 19th.
Damn.
Yes.
So yesterday was his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't usually remember that. I remember his birthday is May 22nd. Yeah. That's what hits me hard, is May 22nd. But just kind of let you know, when he passed away, the day he passed away, because he had struggled quite a bit, right? And he went to my sister's house the last little bit he was alive.
Did you know he was struggling with the suicide ideation part?
Well, here's the deal: is I don't know how that. I'm not a doctor, but I'll attest to this, that the suicidal nature and bipolar sometimes coincide, and in your mind, it says you can take your life right now and you'll still live, or you're a god, or, he's very religious. So he always thought, he's like, oh, I'll just come back, or, things like that. He tried taking his life a few times. This one was successful. Well, I'll just say that. But he struggled the last year, very, very much so, where the divorce was final. They'd been going through a 6 month to a year, kind of like back and forth. And then she submitted the papers. And then once he submitted the papers, that's when something started. And he's like, I don't need to take my medication anymore. I don't need to take this shot. Well, he started living in his van. I think it was a van. I always think of, Chris Farley. I live in a van down by the river.
Down by the river.
Gonna live in the van down by the river, something like that. No, he was, he didn't really, like, my mom left Spokane. He was staying in with family, but he just couldn't sustain that, just because of they had kids and all that stuff. And anybody who knows bipolar, if they're not medicated properly, it's a tough battle. And then he was on state system, so back and forth with different counselors and all that stuff too. And so I always was there at times when he was depressed, and I was like, Jake, you don't want to take your life. You don't want to do that, all that stuff. Because he'd always talk about, I don't have anybody, like, my daughter is, like, I lost my wife and my daughter and all that stuff. And the times that he was with his daughter, it just wasn't what he wanted, right? And just ever since that divorce, it just broke him. So the last year of his life, he was very depressed, and it just kind of sucked with the whole bipolar thing of it. I would say that he never could commit to acknowledging that he had bipolar. He knew that he had a sickness and he should take medication, but he never really in his mind told him, like, the calm Jake, or the Jake that's normal, never committed to be like, okay, I have bipolar, I have to do this, right? He never really kind of committed to it. It's kind of one of those things. And it was kind of frustrating for us, but again, I've never had bipolar. I don't know how that would work, you know. But in general, I just tried to be there with him, you know, be there for him. But the last 6 months, he struggled hard, like he with just a lot of depression. We would try to go and do things, and my sister would take him to the zoo and all that stuff, and try to uplift him and stuff. And he had a fun time and everything, but back in his mind, it's like I don't have my daughter and all that stuff that way. Well, basically, what one morning, Carrie said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the zoo with the kids. Do you want to come?" He's like, "No, I think I'm just gonna stick around and just stay around here, you know, and I don't feel like going right now, you know, and seeing people and being around people and all that." And so she's like, "Okay, great, awesome." Well, she left, and I guess kind of to bring it back a little bit, I didn't know any of this until later down the road, right? That this happened. Well, I was I was down in my the day this happened. Sorry. The day this happened, I was down in my basement cleaning, just rearranging stuff. It was an unfinished basement. And I was just rearranging everything, and we were cleaning and all that stuff. And my wife had me doing a lot of different things. And I received a call, and I looked down at my phone, and it was Jake. Most of the time, I would answer the phone. Like every single time, I'm like, I'm gonna just call him back, right? Um, and got busy again and everything. Then I got a call. And I got a call from my mom, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" It's like it's about Jake, and I'm like, I knew it before she even said. I had a feeling that I already knew what happened. And she said, "Jake committed suicide today." For me, because of my religious background, with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I have a pretty strong faith background. So we believe in life after death and everything. But to personally lose someone like a brother or a family or a member of any kind, it's really tough because I couldn't call him. I couldn't call him back. Now I was reliving that scenario in my mind for probably over 2 or 3 weeks, and I was, as much as I was told, you know, you can't blame yourself, you know, and everything like that. It's like, but I could have answered the phone, you know. I didn't answer the phone, but there's a unique thing, and sorry, my story's all over the place.
No, this is great.
There's a unique thing about life. Me and my younger brother actually served in for our church for 2 years in Arizona. I served first, and then a month before I went home, my brother got called to Arizona
No way.
as well. And he had the same mission president that I had
insane.
for his whole mission. I only had him for a year. But President Woppet was our mission president, and he's just in charge of the mission and all that stuff with the missionaries and everything. He actually, after Jake committed suicide, and I went ahead and I kind of called him because I was struggling, and he said, "I don't know what you have. I don't know what you're worried about or what you're blaming yourself on, because it's not you. It was it was the spirit that told you not to answer. I was like, what are you talking about? He's all like, well, you looked at your phone and you decided not to do it, right? Well, why? I'm like, I don't know. It just felt like I would just call him back, And I got thinking about it, and he brought up really good points in the fact that with a medical condition like bipolar, and he's a doctor himself, President Wappet is. So with the medical condition himself, having that, a lot of the time you don't know you're in a state that you are. And in this instance, we feel that Jake was not in his mental state to know from good, bad, or nothing. He just basically had something presented to him where maybe he did call you and said, hey, if he doesn't answer his phone, I'm just going to do it, right? Because he had threatened before doing that. Well, what President Wappet told me, I'll just call him a good friend because he's now a good friend to me. He basically just told me as a kind of a father figure too, because that's how we looked at him. He basically told me Jake is in heaven and he is teaching people about Christ and the gospel and everything right now. That's what he's doing. You have to worry about you right now. And I'm just like, yeah, I guess. But specifically, he just said, if he didn't take his life, where would he be now? What would have happened to him? Could he have actually been in worse scenario if he didn't pass then? Because he was in a bad state. I wouldn't want to be living in my van. I would not want to be homeless. I would not want to not have connection with the world or with your family, in essence, right?
Yeah.
And so to me, even though I missed that phone call, I just knew at that time and at that moment that it happened for a reason. And I can't tell you why things happen for reasons unknown. I just know that I think Jake, in this instance, he was done with his test here on Earth. And that's kind of how I look at it, is everybody has a test. If they've been through whatever they needed to be gone through in life, let's take them. It doesn't need them anymore. We need them up here,
Yeah.
You never know. But I don't know. Do you have any other questions for me about that one?
No, thank you for talking about it, as difficult as it is. Well, you mentioned the religion you were brought up in.
Yeah.
And then, suicide is just it's a hard topic for our culture. It just is. It's just feelings of embarrassment and shame are just associated with it. I'm just curious how that's been for you and your family with just the topic when you mention how he died and what that's like for you.
Yeah, so for the longest time I kept it from my my kids what happened to Jake. We just told our kids that he had a sickness and he just died. Because is that the truth? Yeah, it is the truth. He had a sickness and he died. I didn't feel the right to at that moment, because this was I have an 18-year-old son now, so he was only what, 11 or 12?
Yeah.
And so at that time, I just didn't. Now he knows. I've talked to him about it. My youngest still probably doesn't get it or know that way. But we had a conversation. I think we had a conversation with my youngest too, and we were talking about it, but he just didn't get it. My youngest, about suicide, because it's something that we want to talk about. And it was a good segue to talk about, suicide and my brother. So even though there's, I mean, again, I'm not a doctor or nothing, but in general, whether you have bipolar, whether you don't have bipolar, you have a support group of a family or friends or anything like that way. If you're in the if you're in a mental state that you know that it's not the right thing to do, get help. I mean, you need to get help. You need to do that. If you're bipolar, take your medication, and it'll never happen. But that's just kind of how I look at everything is you don't ever know who is in the bad mental state or not about suicide, right? Like I collect Marvel trading cards. It's a hobby of mine. I'm a roofer by day. I sell roofs, residential and commercial roofs for a company locally here in Utah. But I also have a hobby and I collect Marvel trading cards. And this stems from my childhood in collecting with my brother. I started YouTube 5 years ago, right after COVID. That's pretty much where I kind of formed my getting over my brother is to get closer to him with a connection that we had, and that just helped immensely. And in the hobby, you have haters. You have people that hate on you. I have 72,000 subscribers now on YouTube. I started at 1 subscriber, back in 2021. Okay. And growing that to what it is today, knowing that the top guy that was in the first 2 years, he had like 3,000 to 5,000 subscribers, right? And I'm just like, man, nobody's going to no one's going to get close to Spidey Hits, and I just kept doing my content, kept making relationships. YouTube actually, if anybody ever wants to grow a YouTube channel and what they want to do and their passions, they give you tools. They give you tools as a content creator to be able to follow those tools. A lot of them don't do that. A lot of content creators just do what they need. Oh, I need to put out my shorts and my videos, and that's all I need to do, But there's tools that you use, and that's all I've done. Well, I had surpassed Spidey Hits last year in May.
Congrats,
and
man.
He was at 13,000 subscribers. And I hit him. I got past in July. It was when I passed him up.
Nice, man.
And what's funny is this. I was at 2,000 subscribers in like March of last year. And then I worked with some buddies that were friends of mine that did YouTube channels. Another YouTuber, Spine Ticks. He actually did a comic. He was a comic guy where he'd have comic guys on every night, every Saturday night, talking about comics and just like their hobby and just the fun stuff, right, that we all get into. And he's had so many co-hosts and all that stuff, but he's now at 450,000 subscribers. And he didn't get to that until like 2 years ago when he popped off. And so I was like, what happened to make you pop off? Like, I saw he got a lot of interest in, interest in his channel. And now I actually go on every Saturday night with him. Granted, this is Father's Day weekend, so I'm probably not going to make it tonight because we have dinner plans and all that. But at the same time, I tend in the hobby to just gravitate to people that support me, but also people that are in my same cloth that get it. Like I'm not a hater. I do get hate. I have gotten hate. And the haters, this is the key part of this whole thing that I'm trying to explain and tie back to my brother, is that you never know with the individual that you're talking to, whether it's chatting online or whether it's like video or anything like that way, you never know where they are at in life. So if they chose to hate on you and tease you and poke at you, what will make them stop, or what will make them come back someday? Being nasty back? Doing something that is, makes them embarrassed? Oh man, I'm gonna definitely like do something to him so he can feel that, Well, I look at everybody a lot different since my brother passed away. I look at it as he's my brother, but he's having maybe some struggles in his life. And so, whether he hates on me or not, he needs love. And so, I always take the motto of kill him with kindness. That's all I do.
You think that's what your brother would have done too? Is that the type of guy he was?
Jake was the type of guy. You want me to read his eulogy?
Yeah,
this would be a good
segue.
How we doing?
I wanted to ask you another question too, real quick, if I can.
Yeah.
As you're pulling that up.
Yeah.
People who have lost loved ones to suicide, they kind of say something along the lines of, I'm mad at them for what they did, and then I'm sad that I'm mad at them, and I feel bad because I understand why, and then the cycle starts over again, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Is that something... You just have so much compassion when you talk about it. Like, you just come from such an understanding perspective. I just wanted to ask how you related to that comment.
So in general, I guess you have to go through it to understand fully what he went through. And what Jake went through, there were multiple times that he could have died, multiple times that he was in a state that we tried to help him, and that the whole bipolar stuff took over and everything, mental illness or whatever you want to call it. With that being said, with Jake, going through all of that with him really put me into that thought process that, Jake is in a better place now. I feel, and this might be a different take on things, but I feel sometimes we're selfish as humans, that in what you said, that you're mad or something like that, you're mad at them because they did that. Well, who are you to say that? Like, who are you to say that? Or you never were in his shoes. You were around him. You knew exactly, but you never know what they're thinking in their mind. All we can do is give them support for sure. But at the same time, love will trump hate every time. And in my life, and the experience that I had with Jake will ultimately keep me going onto that path that I will always show love. There are weaknesses at times. I have weaknesses at times where I'm just like, why'd that guy say that to me or something like that? And I just was like, what can I do to get back at him? But then I think, what's important, Josh? What's important in your life? Well, it's really what's important is to just show love. And I know it's corny and cheesy sometimes and everything that I say that, but I mean, it brings another story of my hobby world where, like, I had haters. This guy was just like hating on me, and like he was like literally in my chat saying, "Look at Marvel Madness. It looks like he's sitting on a toilet," and all this stuff, right? Like all this hate. Well, it finally came down to it that I just forgot about him, didn't focus on him. I wanted to just focus on my friends that are right in front of me. And that's all I did, right? And I was like, I don't need everybody to love me. I thought I did, but I don't need everybody to love me. I am a type of person that hates when someone doesn't like me or they have something bad to say about me, because I don't feel I'm ever that bad. Or
you seem like a very nice guy. Like, yeah,
I mean, at the same time, we're all different, bred with different cloths. We're brought up differently. And so you never know in that experience if you would, do I get along with this guy or not get along with this guy? Well, this guy came to Utah, visited. Greatest thing, I had a Hugh Jackman auto reveal with him.
Wow.
I got my first Hugh Jackman auto of Wolverine, right? A trading card from the 2000 Topps set, that when Topps had the Marvel license then. And I literally had lunch with him. Seemed like it was a great thing. 2 weeks later, I mean, I posted after that. He did too. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, he like wouldn't even talk to me anymore. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what did I do? Like, did I show you too much of me? Because I can be, Ryan knows this. I can be like very, very outgoing and spontaneous and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes a little too much for people. I can be really loud.
Well, dude, we're doing an episode on suicide, and we're laughing and smiling and like, yeah, you're Mr. Positive over here.
No, losing my train of thought.
Sorry.
No,
I'm really good at that.
No, you're completely fine. But no,
this guy hates you though. He's not talking to you anymore.
So that's yes, correct. And I'm okay with that, you know. And he reached out and just was like, "Hey, I just want to reach out and just kind of let you know that, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done these things and all that stuff." I responded back. He never responded back to me. And then literally, it was about 6 months to 7 months ago, this individual created a fake account of me, of my Marvel Madness account. He called me Mental Madness, believe it or not. And I was shocked that, and it had some of my pictures and sketch cards and all that stuff. And
you just feel so violated or what?
Just explaining this. There was a lot of different emotions I had. A lot of different emotions. But the first thing was like, who is this person to do this? Once the person posted a sketch card of this fake profile, I knew who it was. I called him out. He didn't respond. I reached out to other people. I was like, man, you should tell him just to stop. Oh, it's not him. It's not him at all. It's someone else. I'm like, I know it's him. There's no way I don't know who this guy is, because he posted this sketch and said something that only he and I would get. And that's what happened. Well, anyways, he created this profile, and he was connected to the community, the collecting community as well, with the Marvel trading cards and all that stuff too. He even did he actually has his own YouTube channel too, but again, I'm not gonna say his name or anything like that, just because of the fact that what he did then, after he did this, there were people reaching out. It's like, wow, like, I'm sorry, Josh, like that you're going through this and all this stuff, right? Well, it's not cool, one thing, to actually make fun of mental illness. That's the one thing I will never allow. So when he put, he could have called it something else, like something madness, like crazy madness or something like that.
Anything,
and I wouldn't have then. But the second he put mental madness in there, that's when I was like, I got a problem with this, man. This has to be gone. That's why I reached out and all that stuff. Well, he finally admitted, and he sent me a message. And he said, this was uncalled for. I don't know what it is about you, but I just felt like I was gonna, like, I didn't know why I did this. And this is what he was messaging me. It's like, I don't know why I was teasing you. It just was fun at the time, it seemed like. But I don't know why I did it. And I just want to apologize for the whole thing. So he basically apologized for the whole hate thing and all that. And I haven't heard from him since, which is fine. Because what it comes down to is, like, you don't have to be my friend. You just have to give me mutual respect, like other content creators do.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't follow me. You're not my friend. You don't have to do that. And he just was like, you're right. I don't. I'm like, yeah, you don't. But you know how I am. And if you choose to want to be my friend, great, awesome. I'll accept you back, you know. But he chose, just to at least apologize. So after he did that, I said, I'm not going to tell anybody or all that stuff. He knows who he is. So if you're watching, I always accept him as a friend, but he's got to reach out. I'm not ever going to reach out to him. But I will always show love to people. So that's just how I am.
Yeah.
So
let's have you read.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry, a little tangent, guys, but this whole thing's tangent. So, all right.
You wrote this, right, Josh?
I wrote this.
Yeah,
eulogy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you read it since?
You know what?
Probably not.
The other day, I did read a little bit of it because this whole we set this up and everything like that. So I will be honest that way. I don't like fake stuff. Like I like to be real.
That's why we don't prepare and plan anything.
Yeah,
you can't know the questions coming.
Correct.
If you know the questions coming,
yeah. Well,
what are we doing?
And that's why I'm not saying that I contribute that to what my YouTube channel has done or anything like that, but it's easier to actually do a live than a pre-record. Because I know that if I do a pre-record, I have 4 to 8 hours ahead of me to edit stuff. Because that's just how it is.
So just go live. Way better.
That's what I do.
Better.
Go live every Friday nights on Marvel Bros and Friends, my show on my YouTube channel. Okay, so the eulogy of Jacob Allen Legg. I do not think anyone quite knows where to start on one of these, whatever they call it, eulogies. Right there, Jake would stop me, okay? And he'd be like, eulogy? What the heck is a eulogy? That's a stupid word, like something like that, right? Well, the definition of a eulogy is a piece of writing that praises and honors someone's life. So this is for you, Jake. Sorry. Born into the Brzee clan, as well as from the grassroots of the Legg Copeland heritage, came Jacob Allen Legg. Jake, the AKA Jake the Snake. I'm sure my parents did not know what they were getting into when their youngest boy was born. Oh, but I'm sure they learned pretty quick. They were in for quite a ride. Jake had an enormous heart for others. He could make a friend anywhere he went. I feel each of us had the opportunity to truly know Jake in his life. Know that he would help anyone, even if they didn't ask for it. It's been said many times this past week that he would give the shirt off his own back to help somebody. I'm sure that in one way or another, almost everyone in this room has helped, or at least once, by him. So he helped everybody. Those who knew Jake knew how he had a giant and outgoing personality with the best laugh. If Jake was in the room and you heard laughter or joking around, it was likely coming from him with the big, enormous, contagious laugh that he had. For anyone who had seen the movie Dumb and Dumber, the part of the movie where they drive down the road, I don't know, I'm getting emotional for this, and they're just like, see someone down the road and they're like, pick him up.
Pick him up. Look, Lloyd, there's a guy.
He was that guy that would always be doing that. The one who said, let's pick him up. Family was truly everything to Jake. In his ideal world, everyone Jake considered family, whether it be immediate, extended family, friends, so close they may as well be family. We would all live in the very, very same proximity, if it was his choice, to each other, with some ginormous property and compound that we could get everybody together whenever we wanted to interact often. That would be Jake's dream of where things would be. we'd still be gathering in big groups just like this. For Thanksgiving from the Brzee side. Aunt Maxine's famous whipped jellos, the Christmas with the Legg side at Grandma Marilyn and Grandpa Tony's. Jake very much looked forward to all these family reunions and all these family get-togethers. I'm pretty sure he was wishing he could physically be here right now to pass out some of those big, full-on hugs of his. We know he's here in spirit and overjoyed to see so many family and friends here and gathered together in one place and share love and joy as we remember and celebrate him. He's brought us all here today. He was a big family man and everyone knew it. I mean, the kid's best friend growing up was his cousin. So they may as well have been Siamese twins, actually. Brandon was his cousin. We all know his cousin, and it was his buddy too. Family was whoever he decided was family. He didn't just have two brothers. He had a sister. He had Adam, Alec, Justin, Tori, Jaden, Sandy, Shelly, Jason, Ashley, Dave, and Christina. He had moms and dads. He had Uncle Sean and Grandma Linda, a cousin Crystal. He had it all. I could go on and on about those he considered close and immediate family. Anywhere from changing oil, airing up your tires, or working on someone's CV joints in his car, Jake was the hands-on guy. Jake was raised by his father, uncles, grandpas, all the talented construction using their hands. He worked many years alongside his dad's, uncles, brothers. Might have actually repeated that. Sorry, guys. His stepdad, Bill, was always right there to teach him a thing or two about cars. He never had any formal training on mechanical things, but learned as he went. He really had a talent for working on the cars and the things he worked on. Jake sure loved his mom. Being the youngest baby of the family, I'm sure they had a special kind of relationship. They must have talked on the phone about every other day, and he probably went more than he couldn't go. He never went more than a week not speaking to my mom. He was truly mama's baby. He loved all the many women in his life: mom, stepmom, grandma, sister, more sisters, his daughter, his wives. The light of his life, but the light of his life was his daughter, who I'll talk about in just a minute. Jake mostly grew up with one sister, but along the way, he through blending families and certainly gained a few more. Jake's definition of family really shines here because even though he was no longer married or had a blood bond, he never stopped considering Alec, Tori, Shelly, or Sandy his sisters in life. Those are our stepsisters. He loved you all dearly. One sister, though, the oldest of all these sisters, he had from the very beginning, Carissa Ann, who was who the majority of us know as Carrie, my sister. She remembers changing his diapers. She remembers the funny little toddler who hated the feel of grass, so he sat down on cardboard in the outside, not on grass. And the picky little kid who only wanted butter on his noodles, no sauce. She remembers how much we used to tease him and torture our poor baby brother by calling him the milkman's kid, because he's the only one in our immediate family with blonde hair and blue eyes. Every one of us are dark-haired.
Yeah. Classic joke.
Yeah. Too many childhood memories are so fleeting and often hard to remember. Jake had a great memory, though. He could almost call it a talent. The kid remembered everything, movies. My dad said it was one thing that he would take from Jake was the kid's memory. And the details he remembered, Carrie may have forgotten so many things about Jake over the years, as I'm sure all of us probably have. But the one thing she'll never forget was the way that he made her feel. Quote, this is from my sister. He made me feel beautiful. He made me feel seen. He made me feel talented. He made me feel special. He made me feel noticed and loved. Jake was very good at giving compliments. I knew he loved me, and I loved him. Sorry. Our family grew up camping a lot. He sure loved the outdoors and camping. He always talking about the times he got to go hiking and fishing, and his older brother Jeremy, outings and adventures with his older brother Jeremy in the last several years were some of the first Jake's favorite things to do. Jake had two gospels, the actual gospel and the gospel of Jeremy, my older brother. Anything Jeremy told him, he talked about, he would take as something that was not only truth, but also try to abide by it. He loved us brothers for sure. Years ago, we created a team called Team Xbox. We played online video games together, sometimes for hours. We'd be in separate states even. And we'd go well after midnight or even all night a few times. My tag name was High Counselor. Jeremy's was Venera, and Jake's was Suck a Snake. For those who don't know, Jake liked to be referred to as Jake the Snake because it rhymed and sounded cool. Not necessarily because of the actual snakes, though he's had pet snakes before. Anything we did, as long as we got to talk to each other, was awesome. I will always cherish our three-way calls we had as brothers and being online playing video games. He was also the fun, exciting uncle. I'd have to think that some of that came from uncles of his life, but more so Bruce the Moose, starting a long time ago when he lived in the back of our Pierce house as a single bachelor. As an uncle himself, Jake loved all his nieces and nephews. Some of them didn't get to see him in person as often as we would have wanted, but still had great relationships over the phone and video chats. One thing that separated Jake from anyone was his hair. Ever since Jake was a little boy, with his hair, older ladies would just be fascinated with this hair, and they just run their hands right through it. Happened so much. It almost gave him a complex, but he made the best of it as he got older, and we all knew it. Everyone thought how cool Jake's hair was, facial hair was. He sure did know how to change his look because he changed it all the time, constantly. He'd put like little swirls in his beard and all that stuff. He even did like a huge fro at one point. Like it was literally, a fro.
He had hair.
It's a white man's fro. It was crazy, crazy. Even though if someone didn't know Jake, I would show a picture of him like at work and they would say, "Oh, cool. That looks like a cool dude." Or he looks fun. He sure was the life of the party. So many times, that's for sure. Jake loved his brothers. Me and Jeremy, those who knew Jake know that both myself and him had a lot in common. We were both born in Hawaii. Like myself, he was extremely proud of it. Growing up, we had two youngest in our family of four. We were the two youngest in our family of four siblings. My brother Jeremy was the oldest. Carissa, the sister, being the second oldest. I was the third. Jake was the baby. For this part, I want to start with a side analogy, if I could. And I think Jake would like this. So just a small pack of wild dogs growing up, having a younger brother. I'm sure everyone knows at some point or another, you have to show your dominance as an older brother, right?
Have to.
Well, in Jake's world, he would be the opposite. And he would try the hardest to be the dominant brother. Any chance he got, he would take it, and as we were kids. Either whether he kicked me in the nuts or punched me in the face, he would do whatever he could. As got into our blended family phase, he received even more blessings and experiences that came from all of his other brothers, looking up to his stepbrother Jason, talking about spearfishing and scuba diving to all the fun times we had over at the Moffat house. Adam, Justin, and the youngest brother Jaden, who is 17 now. He's actually a lot older now. So 17 plus. How
So
many
he'd be
years?
like 20.
25. Yeah. And he's married now. So because he was just a new baby when I was out of my mission. So Jaden was a baby when I got back. So myself having 5 boys now, 5 boys, I now can completely understand that there's something special about sibling rivalries. Okay. Not much when you're young, but all you want to do is rip each other's hair out and fight. That's all my kids want to do. Don't get me wrong. There are some good moments too. And it's not all bad. We used to collect Marvel trading cards when we were younger. And with those Marvel trading cards, we brought closer to our characters we liked, X-Men cartoons, as well as any superhero we were all into. But when you get older, it seems you grow closer as siblings, and you grow closer and have and create that bond together. Our rivalry was something else for sure. To this day, my mom still struggles to keep our names straight. She's all Jake, Josh, Jared, Carrie, like she's like that. And now having 5 boys, I'm like,
Yeah.
Kai, Lincoln, Micah, Cash, come over here. I'm just like the same way. Jake and I had something very special happen to us. If you did not already know, Jake served a full-time mission in Arizona Mesa mission, where I served in Arizona Phoenix mission. We both had the opportunity to serve under the same mission president, which was that President Wappet that I told you about. Not only that he served around some of the elders, but he actually served with some of the elders that I was around. Crazy. But he also met a bunch of families that we came across with, converts that we came across with. He was able to bring in his mission and be able to have those experiences that they would talk about me. And it was just an awesome experience. Pretty awesome to be able to have that experience as brothers. I was able to call Mr. President Wappet the other day, or now Nigel in Avalon, and explain what happened. But better yet, talk about Jake and some of the different elders and families he touched, and also what great missionary he was. President Whopper explained him to very effulgent, is what he used the word terminology, which means shining brightly and radiant, of a person of their expression. Manting joy, what's that word? Emanating joy. There, thank you. Emanating joy or goodness to all those who were around him. He had a spirit about him that would make him glow, as Sister Wappet said. The contagious smile he had would brighten anyone's day, which was true. It was awesome to have an experience with him. We reminisced quite a bit after our missions over experiences we had together, almost like there was an Elder Legg 1 and an Elder Legg 2. Awesome. Jake never missed an opportunity to talk highly of his mission. He served and experienced that he had. Carrie, my sister, said he was just at the Portland Visitors Temple a month ago talking to several minutes to some missionaries currently serving there. Then again, to the word missionaries at her house. He had amazing testimony of the gospel. Coming off his mission, Jake's testimony of the gospel was unwavering, beyond a shadow of doubt. Over the years, he had served in many church callings in his singles ward and allowed him to share his testimony with others. He loved the gospel and the Book of Mormon. He at one point said if he had ever had a son, he wanted to name him Tiancum. It was a great warrior and military leader in the Book of Mormon. He just loved some of the gospel figures and prophets of old. It was captivating to hear him explaining those early prophets and key figures in the scriptures, and if you know, could visualize it all so well. For example, if Jake were talking about Moses, whether it happened like this or not, he would be like, dude, he was awesome. He took his staff and he was like, the power and authority of God, get thee part. A boom. His stories were so well thought out in his mind. He was always animated with the best exaggerations and clarity. Almost like he could get anything in an action hero movie. Everything also started with, dude, check this out. Man, look at this. And then he would say or do something crazy or just plain awesome. So, to his daughter, Malayla, that was his daughter's name. She still lives today. He said to his daughter, Malayla, he loved you so much. So I'm basically speaking in his behalf right now here. You were the light of his life. You were his life, his everything. There are no words to express the love that he had for you and still has for you. Every waking moment of his life, he was thinking about you and how much he meant to him. Please know that the precious time he did have with you, he did and will always cherish more than you ever will know. I'm sure there were some hard times that he was tired and sleepy at the end of the day or at the end of the long day. The years that he stayed home with you while mommy was at work. No dad is a perfect dad, but all of our daddies in the world, of all of the daddies in the world, he was your daddy, and he sure tried his best to be a good one for you. He was very sick and struggled a lot in ways that most will never know or understand. We pray, Malayla, that you will always have fond memories being together with your dad, Jake, and be able to keep those memories of him close to your heart throughout your life. Know, Malayla, that the most important thing to your daddy, Jake, was being with you, playing with you, cuddling with you, laughing with you, talking to you, and video chat on the phone. We know you are sad now and you miss him a lot, but know that your daddy is in heaven now. He's giving Heavenly Father and Jesus big hugs. He's no longer sick. He's no longer sad, and he will no longer feel alone again. He has missed you so much this past year or two, but he knows he will be with you again. He is still with us through our memories, through our prayers, in our thoughts and our hearts. We will see him again. Be strong, Malayla, and know that you are so loved by all your family, your uncles, your aunties, your grandmas, your grandpas, your cousins. We don't get to see you in person very often, but we will sure try to see and talk to you as much as we can throughout video chat on our phone. We hope you'll be able to visit us sometimes. We love you, Malayla, and we're here from you. Anytime you want us to share your story and memory with you about your daddy, Jake. This is almost done, guys. So many memories. We could literally be here all day. I'm so proud of this guy and his legacies left. He was truly loved by so many. That has proven all of those who have made it here today, including those who couldn't make it, but still reached out with words, memories, condolences, and were a big part of his life. His parents, siblings, grandmas, aunties, uncles, cousins, friends, too many to name them all. He really did touch numerous lives of people who cared about and loved it clearly. What truly defines a person? What things will you do to make a mark? For Jake, it was his compassion for all, his brothers, sisters that were here on earth. He never met a stranger. He spoke with so many people in the past week, and a very common sentiment was, "Oh, Jake, he had the biggest heart. He truly did not have a bad bone in his body. His smile was contagious. His hugs were the best. At times in his life, when he really drew the short end of the straw, he could usually find a positive side to it." That's seems like after his death, that's where I got my positivity, was being positive because he was He's always positive. We take such comfort and solace in our knowledge that he is now safe and well. His mental illness is gone, and he has been made whole again. He is at peace, no longer sad and broken. He is back home surrounded with family and friends that love him and greeted him with open arms, those that we lost in the past. Can you just imagine that he is talking to Grandpa Burzay and Uncle Doug about even reuniting with Grandma Burzay and meeting Auntie Anne, who died at age 14. My mom had 8 siblings and one passed away. He was truly missed. The remainder of his earthly life by his family, he will be truly missed by his family and all those who touched him, his sweet spirit, but never forgotten. His light was a bright one. May he continue to find ways to shine for us. The gospel is true. The plan of salvation and the atonement of Jesus Christ is real. They are real for Jake and real for all of us. This knowledge we have is a gift from God. Our Father who loves us more than words can express, more than we can comprehend. Families are eternal. And we all know that Jake knew that. We loved him. We will see Jake again. God be with you till we meet again. And then that's it. Name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. How do you feel reading that?
Motivated to just be a better person all day, every day.
I loved watching you read it because I think we covered every emotion. Like we're crying and then we're laughing and then it was so good, man. Like I think grief it's the most human version of you when you're going through grief. I think like it just brings out the rawest emotions. So thanks for reading that. I thought that was
I mean,
really good.
It was 7 years ago, but
how old was your brother?
Huh?
When he died? How old was he?
He was born in 1983. So how old would he be today?
17 plus 19. So 36.
He'd be 36 when he passed, or 36 now?
36 when he passed.
Yes,
I think.
correct.
I think.
That is correct.
I'm not good at math.
No, he'd be 40. He'd be 42, I think.
Okay.
He'd be 42. So
is there any before we end every episode with top 3 favorite movies, but before we get to that,
okay.
Anything else you want to comment on just the topic of suicide and like how one person commits suicide in the United States of America every 11 minutes. It's that common. So what from your story do you think is valuable to say to help?
I would say to always show love and compassion to your enemies, and always show love and compassion to anyone you come across with. If they've wronged you, don't push them away. Even though they're so bad to you, right? I just kept on doing what I was doing, with my YouTube channel. Went from 2,000 to 70,000 subscribers. I must have did something right. I must be doing something right to be able to get that much of an audience, to be able to allow me to be personable with people that do hate or whatnot. I always call them haters because they're like, sometimes they say things in chat and all that stuff. I'm just like, welcome. We are welcoming every hater or lover, to the show. But to me, it's being a genuine, nice human. That's how we can all support each other.
I love it. I think being nice is letting people be heard. And when you mentioned earlier, like when you get a nasty comment, like what should you do? And what I was thinking is you should make sure they feel heard. That's so like whether it's a okay or like, yeah, good point or whatever it is that like, yeah, I saw your comment, you're heard, but you're not mean in return. Like you're not making them feel stupid. Just I heard it, man. Like I got
Correct.
you. And I think that's just one of my goals is I have so much pain and so many things I want to express and try to just yell at people, but in return, I've just learned to listen, like, because that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want people to listen to me.
Correct.
And so what I need to treat people how I want to be treated. So I need to listen to them. And I think that's
Listening is key.
and I think it's part of kindness is just allow them to tell their story, man. And it's not about being right or wrong all the time.
Yeah.
It's just about he experienced that, you experienced this.
Correct.
And then, where do we meet that we have some things in common.
Yeah.
But thanks for sharing that, man. Thanks for coming on and being involved.
Yeah, no,
Kill him with kindness.
Kill him with kindness.
I love that.
That's what you got to do.
What were your brother's top 3 favorite superheroes, you think? Who did he like?
Thor,
Oh, good one.
Hulk,
Another good one.
and he liked Iron Man, but I think he liked Wolverine more because I liked Wolverine.
So you kind of pulled him over there.
Well, he liked him because I liked him so much.
Gotcha.
And that's how Jake was. Is he
Yeah.
he would always emulate the family or friends that had things, and he would want to do the same, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But
Anything else you want to say before we get to top 3 favorite movies?
hey, subscribe to Marvel Madness.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible at this stuff. But yeah, go subscribe to Marvel Madness.
You guys have any Marvel Madness MCU on YouTube?
What's the card you've sold worth the most money? Is that okay to ask?
So currently, right now, the card that I've sold was earlier on when you would call it the collectible boom.
Okay.
I bought a card for $500 and I sold it for $16,000.
GD.
But that will not be my most
Like you got some
expensive card that I'll sell. I'm sitting on cards that definitely will have its time.
That's awesome, man.
So, but no, I'm just passionate about sharing my collection. If you guys ever want to get into comics, Marvel trading cards, or anything non-sport, Marvel Madness MCU on YouTube, Marvel Madness on Instagram. I have a logo of slash marks and Marvel Madness. That's where you can find me. That's right there.
There you go.
At Marvel Bros and Friends every Friday night at 9 p.m. That's
I'm gonna have to listen on.
Yeah,
next
if you
Friday,
ever want to just check out comics or check out the new Marvel trading cards or DC too, because we it's funny because sometimes the content creators that just do Marvel, and don't do DC as well, they say DC stands for don't care. Where I say this, I was like, DC is actually, we love DC here. So
Yeah.
we don't hate on
Doesn't
DC.
it stand for like detective comic? What
It
stand
does.
for?
Detective Comics.
See?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
I know some shit
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here.
If you want to do a whole episode on Wolverine and like the
Dude,
way
I'd love
that
to.
he looks at death because he's died so many times and come back. So
I'm more of a Spider-Man guy myself, but I do
Jeez.
love. I think Wolverine.
we have to end this podcast right now.
You don't like Spider-Man?
Dude, Spider-Man's a weenie.
Oh, get out of here! No, don't break my heart. Okay, top 3 favorite movies.
Okay, let me
Okay.
just say one thing about Spider-Man.
Okay.
Spider-Man is the neighborhood hero.
Sure.
Kids, Spider-Man's cool. That's what I'm going to say about Spider-Man. Is he better than Wolverine? No. Is he cooler than Wolverine? No. And I've just always it's funny. I'm a positive guy and a nice guy. Just so
Until
you know.
get to Wolverine question.
But I love Wolverine, and he's the
Yeah,
most brass
that's
character you'd ever
true.
see, right?
He's like your alter ego.
Yeah, you'd think I'd like Spider-Man because I'm so animated. But
Yeah, he's truly like the opposite of you.
no, he
man.
totally
Yeah.
is. But I get Wolverine. You know, at times I tend to go that route if I get mad. So
Yeah.
spectrum goes both ways with that. So
Okay, top 3
oh,
favorite movies.
one thing that me and Wolverine have in common.
Okay, yeah.
Want that?
I'm trying to think that.
Actually, there's a few things. You want to know that?
beard. Like you can do like the what are those called? The
Oh, yeah, I
You can
can.
do
I can
those.
definitely do the chops.
The chops,
The chops.
yeah, okay, what
the
else?
chops. I
You
can do
have-
that. I can look like Wolverine.
both ride motorcycles.
No, actually, I don't.
I don't know.
All right. So, like Wolverine, he's always healing.
Oh.
He has a healing factor. Well, I actually had heart surgery when I was 3 months old. And it was an open heart surgery when I was 3 months old. I have a heart condition and I have some other health conditions, but that heart condition, I've been cardioverted I've been shocked back into rhythm over 20 times and I've come back. So basically they shock me, I die, and I come back.
So you are Wolverine.
So I am Wolverine.
Like that's
No. There's been like multiple times I've been in the hospital and all that stuff, and I have the what did you even call that, the IV and all that.
yeah.
And I've made jokes and stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm just pumping this adamantium into my in my skeleton, my exoskeleton, and everything. But with my heart, the reason that I have a condition I have is because of scar tissue, and it's always healing. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Scar tissue always heals. Like it always keeps healing. Like you'll never not stop healing.
So you are like Wolverine. Look at
So-
you. Look at that.
I am like Wolverine, baby.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Just don't have the claws. I wish I
I'm
had.
trying to think of ways I'm like Spider-Man. I've been bitten by a spider before.
Okay.
Didn't get
All right.
powers, but
Yeah.
okay. I'm trying to think. Like, no, I'm not like Spider-Man at all.
Yeah, you don't do photography.
I don't do photography. Okay. Top 3 favorite movies. 3, 2, 1, if you can.
Geez. Are these top 3 favorite movies of all time?
Good question. Let me clarify.
Yeah, because I need to know.
These are you only get to watch these the rest of your life. So like this is it. This is all you have left to live with.
Oh boy.
I know.
Top 3, huh? Man. These would not be the same movies 10 years ago or 20 years ago. You know
Sure.
that, right?
Yeah.
My favorite all-time movie, I will have to keep that as my favorite
Okay.
all-time movie, is The Fifth Element.
Oh my gosh. My brother Race loved that movie.
Do you know why?
Man, you always because Bruce Willis is
It's
in it.
Bruce Willis is in it.
Yeah,
But
and Uma Thurman.
that's not it. That's not it. Bruce Willis is just,
Okay, what is it?
huh? Yeah. The answer is this. What type of movie would you say Fifth Element is?
Yeah, it's kind of I like sci-fi.
Sci-fi. Okay. But it's also comedy though.
Definitely
right?
comedy.
Mm-hmm. Chris Tucker and all that.
Oh, well, I
Yeah.
laugh hard. Yeah.
Gotta be comedy too, right?
Sure.
But dang, it's also a love story as well.
Like you pushing rom-com on me now?
I mean, it's
You have a point. It
it's Lilu, right? Lilu
Covers
and Corbin
e-
Dallas.
covers every genre.
It covers freaking every genre. And don't forget action. Action?
We need to cover 5. because
Shoot 'em
of the
up?
Fifth Element.
No, that's the thing. So you got action, comedy, romance,
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
What are we missing?
What are we missing here?
Horror. No, not really.
Not really. I think there is 5.
Well,
I
what
think
is it?
there
What's
is
the
5.
fifth?
Oh. action, comedy, romance, sci-fi. There has to be a fifth.
It's not horror. They're not singing, so it's not like a musical. What other genres are there?
You could say fantasy.
Not really. Let's just go with 4.
Yeah, I guess just 4 with the Fifth Element.
Yeah, I get the 4th element. Okay, 2 other movies.
Okay, the other movies would have to be. I will have to say Wolverine and Deadpool.
I was waiting for
the
it.
new movie.
I was waiting for it.
I mean, if you asked me before the movie came out, it'd be a different one, but definitely that.
Okay.
The third one will be really hard because I like a lot of movies,
It's like a tough question.
lots of comic movies and all that stuff, right? But I don't know. If I was writing on a piece of paper and I only had these movies to ever watch again, that's what you gave me. Fifth Element. I'd have that. Wolverine, Deadpool. I would have to pick one that is just an all-time really good movie, and I'm gonna go out on a whim here and say The Burbs.
The Burbs. I've never seen that. Wait, is that with Tom Hanks? Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time.
I mean, if I were to give just like, some shout outs, I mean, Goonies.
Goonies is great.
Goonies is great,
Burbs is a good pick.
But Burbs is like, it's funny, it's great, it's mysterious, it's all of that too. So, but
Good list, man.
anywho, that's it,
I
man.
like it. My brother would love that list of movies. Got good taste. Thanks again for coming on. Go check out his YouTube, Instagram, comics, cards, and remember, life's 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it.